Hey guys, this is Frenzy. Welcome back to Mighty Quest. So, in my last video I said I was going to be doing a 175 and I was going to do a complete renovation of my dungeon. Well, I'm going to skip 175 and do kind of a mix of 175 and 195 because 175 for defending is actually just terrible. It's basically the last level you have to play through until you get some good crowd control and the Cyclops stun. So I pretty much just lost a lot as I was tweaking my new layout and all of that sort of thing. So I'm gonna go through a couple of the videos of when I was at 175, and then I'm gonna do a couple of the replays. When I was at 175, and a couple of replays when I was at 195, and kind of just explain exactly what happened and some mistakes that I don't want people to kind of fall into, I guess. So I'll walk through my current layout and how it stands now. Actually, let me just go into the video of 175 first. I believe it's this one right here. And you know, he's paying me a compliment or whatever, but he does get through. And this actually shouldn't happen, right? He aggroed 3 mobs at once. He aggroed about 60 supply worth of monsters and he should have died. But I saw a pretty big problem. So this alone is kind of a problem. You don't really need 2 Cyclops here. But it's not too big of a deal, right? It's doing what it's supposed to do. It's knocking him into a trap, it's making him take time, and it's doing some decent damage. Obviously not much after he gets his health potions back, but not too bad. This again, knock him back into the fire. It's fine. Again, the Cyclops don't have stun because it was at 175, so, you know, you want to rush to 195 as quickly as possible and get your Cyclops upgrade if you're using them a lot in your dungeon, because it's an enormous help. This room, I hated it, but I added a Cyclops and some archers once I got to 195. This is where the good area is, right? I love this. This is great. The problem is right here. This room that I was using for this third drop back, this aggroes a group of monsters that's down in here. So he has that first room, this second group, and this group down here. He should be taking a ton of damage right here. The problem is he's in this narrow corridor, so the archers have to line up their shots here, line up their shots here. Archers are out in this area, so they're not actually getting their shots off. So I really needed to wipe this completely out and find a better room to do it, and that's what I actually did. And I'll go into replays after that, because he's not taking enough damage here. Like, it's still difficult for him, and he has to chug a ton of potions. But it's not going to kill him, which is the problem. Right, he's getting yanked all over the place, and this is pretty good. But I can do it better. So this is how I had it set up for 175, and it's not bad, but I definitely could improve it. So I'll just speed through the rest of this replay. Actually, the rest of my dungeon is pretty similar to how it was to, like, you know, there's some room layout changes, but it's pretty similar to how you'll see it in 195. So this is a double pull. He, you know, sees it in time, and that's fine. This mob here pulls one on this side, this mob here pulls it on this side. It's a pretty standard layout for this room. Great, slow traps, you know, nothing too crazy. A bunch of archers, do a little bit of damage. I still like my final boss room, I think it's fine. Especially when the archers get to level 4 at 215, they're going to be actually just so good. Going to be able to snipe heroes all day. And he gets through, steals a bunch of stuff. But I learned a lot from this, so it's good. Alright, so now I'll walk through the actual layout of 195. And what this video is all about. So I switched out a couple things here. You notice my layout there, I had 2 Cyclops and 2 archers in the back here. And that was my layout for this room. The thing I changed is I kept this Cyclops, I removed one of them, added an archer, and I repositioned the archers here. Now the reason behind that is a lot of people were waiting for this trap to go by, seeing the Cyclops charge, and ducking into this room. So if they duck into this room, I'm basically forcing them to take shots from this archer, or go down here and risk aggroing more into this, which people aren't going to just run into a room they haven't explored. They're going to take the 2 or 3 shots from the archer, and then maybe take another stun from a Cyclops and get even more damage. So that's kind of why I repositioned these here. This room is exactly the same as it used to be, I think. Just I've upgraded this trap so it does a little bit more damage and has 3 heads to it instead of 2. This is what I added. Still the slow trap. Now the reason why this is a slow trap instead of what it used to be, which was a fire trap, is I want people to come in here, see the slow trap, and really not think much of it for this next slow trap that's down here, right? I want them to come through and just be in the thought process of, I need to run through these slow traps because maybe he has them through his entire dungeon, and maybe his dungeon is based on the time limit, whereas mine is actually based on killing you. So the only difference, you know, archers shooting down the hallway, this guy knocking them back into the hallway. Just basically set up for DPS, and also the illusion that, you know, you want to run through these slow traps, right? So this slow trap placement here is pretty critical. It's covering this hallway here, so when they enter into this room, they're going to be slowed. And as soon as they enter this, they're going to get vision. This guy's going to pull as soon as they're coming in. Pull to him, springboard. These guys are going to be taking pot shots down this hallway. This guy's going to take a pot shot as he's getting pulled here. These guys are going to be lining up their shots down the hallway. As they get pulled, you'll get pulled into the archer's shots. This also lines up for when they get pulled to here and to here. They have lines up shots here, right? Because like I said before in that 175 video, is I wanted to line up shots better so they'd actually take the DPS. So you have a pull to here, a pull over this springboard trap, which gets launched into this aggro group. Another puller here next to a fire mine, so he gets pulled into the mines, taking shots from these archers, and a puppeteer on enrage, so these guys will shoot faster. Again, another upgrade you get at 195 is the Bone Puppeteer 4, which gives them a group enrage or a group resurrect. I like the enrage a little bit better because I like to kill people. Right, that's the fun. So, you know, the rest of this is pretty negligible, right? It doesn't matter. The Squidly and the two whatever these things are called aren't going to actually do that much damage, but the archers are really set up in the positions to actually get their shots off, and when they do get upgraded to level 4 and are able to take 2 shots at once, this should kill almost any hero around my level, and probably up, you know, 2 or 3 levels. Because I'm already having a couple of these replays that I'm going to go over now, is you can see 4 potions, 4 potions. This guy took 1, but he actually just died. Or didn't take any, I mean. 2 potions, you know, a lot of potions, and this is where I kind of started switching stuff out. So one of these is just someone standing in the dungeon, and I think it's this guy. So I'm just going to go over like these 2 replays probably. I think this should be my new layout. So this guy ends up dying, I believe. And then the other guy almost dies, but he just keeps chugging potions through it, which is okay because I'm going to be getting an archer upgrade at 215, and I'm pretty excited about that. So that is a ton of damage, right? That's actually just so good. He didn't duck out of the way, he already had to use a potion on my first room. I'm pretty happy with that. And ends up getting hit by that trap. You know, he's falling apart already. So, come in, get aggro, get stunned into this, take a bunch of shots, pretty good. Another potion used on my second room. He's still standing in the fire taking a ton of damage. Like, this fire is not really any joke. I mean, it does a lot of damage if you stand in it. Again, stun, archers from down the hallway, 3 shots, almost dead, another potion. Good. This is already pretty unprofitable for him right now. Again, slow traps. Okay, there's not really any reason for this slow trap. When I get to this slow trap, I'm just going to walk through it because, you know, why suspect anything? That's really the entire reason. And pull, springboard. I believe this guy misses. He was a little off center from where most people are. I wasn't actually able to reproduce this, but he's hitting this wall, so there's actually not really much room that I can actually change things up, though. Okay, so he ends up reviving himself, and I think he ends up getting through. So I'll just go on like 2x speed, because he's already died once. The rest of this doesn't really matter much. But yeah, I don't have much room to actually maneuver this puller in this trap, just because there's not many rooms that you can actually do this on. Supposedly when you get up to level 4 pullers, it's quick enough and the hook is long enough where you can actually get momentum to kind of go in a straight line. I haven't tested it enough, you know, I don't have a level 4 puller, so this is the only way I can do it at this point. But so far it's been working every time I've tried it. Slow traps just to slow him down in this dead end. But yeah. I don't know about that trap placement, could be better. And take a ton of damage from these archers. Okay, so he's good. Makes it through. I can leave the replay. Alright, let's do this last one. WoW Close Call, Deadly Dungeon. Great, but he doesn't actually die, so we need to watch this, and I believe he just has enough health and can just chug potions through it. He has pretty good potions, and I think he uses 4 or 5 potions on this, so. Alright, good, get knocked back. Not quite close enough. This guy's also level 17. My dungeon's either 14 or 15 at this point. I think it's 15. Alright, he's going to this wall. Not many people do that. I don't mind it. It just takes extra time. I mean, the fire doesn't quite reach there because most people are going to hug this wall just like naturally. I love that sometimes these archers run back into this, especially against warriors. If you get close to them, they'll run back into the fire, make them take extra damage. So he ended up charging in there. It does basically the same thing. He just takes the shots from the archers. I can't wait until these archers are leveled up. I have a feeling I'm going to get a ton of kills as soon as they get leveled. I know I personally won't actually attack level 215 defense with my level 15 archer. I can do 195 pretty easily. Alright, so this guy does get hit. And this should work properly. It does. And get pulled again. Great. Take the shots. And he just keeps chugging potions through all of this, basically. You know, I mean, these pulls are insane. He's just getting thrown all over the place. And he's just, like, holding down the Q button for potions. This is gonna kill a good majority of people, I think. So yeah, a pretty good setup, I think. I really do enjoy this one. I really hated the 175, so I felt like it wasn't really worth making a video specifically for that. I mean, he has to run all the way back here, waiting for this potion cooldown to come. I might have to add in maybe a Cyclops in here somewhere, just so they get stunned and they might not be able to use potions. Also, these placements on these Snotters, they aggro Robo Shieldatron, so if they get pulled here and start running south to try to get away from the monsters that are up there, they'll actually aggro more. That's pretty important as well. And this is a double aggro. He's gonna have to probably use another potion for this. This is also another upgrade for 215, so I'm pretty excited about that. Again, 2 Bone Puppeteers for enraging the Shieldatrons. It's pretty good. Some people use Defendatrons with the guard ability. I prefer the Puppeteers. Defendatrons are going to take more time, but Bone Puppeteers have a bigger chance to kill people, I guess. Alright, and then the boss room, I mean, he's already used 3 or 4 potions. So a couple of the archers miss. Grouped up archers because you want the enrage. Group enrage again at the boss room. That's the only real change that I've ever done to my boss room, is removed one of these Defendatrons, added an archer, and added the Bone Puppeteer. And I think I had 2 Snotters as well that I removed. I may mess around with this if the archers don't start paying off when I get to level 4 though, because I don't think I've ever had kills in this boss room, and I feel like with 36 supply I should be able to. I might have to work up another pull so that I can get, you know, 56 supply on them here. But yeah, he ends up getting through. But I really do like that pull that I have set up here. I think it's pretty good. I am pretty much looking forward to the level 4 pullers, so that I might actually be able to go in a straight line instead of always having to go down corners. You know, because it's actually pretty hard to find rooms to set up a pull like this. Now, since this one is working, I can actually do a double pull here and maybe fling them down this way if I wanted to for 215 and aggro this group. But I think I'm gonna have to change this up when the patch hits. I think this is a little bit too far of a pull. I might be able to put it down here or something, because it's got to be 40 meters from the aggro circle. So I'll have to mess around with that to see how it actually works. I'll figure something out. I might have to scrap this room altogether. I don't know if double pulls will be viable like that. I mean, the whole idea is for them to kill these two and get to this guy before this actually shows up. And if people are just rushing through, they'll... But I mean, it's getting so common that people aren't really falling for it anymore. But I guess it just takes a little bit extra time. Again, my dungeon isn't really about time anyway. When people do finish it, they finish it with plenty of time to spare. Because I hate those annoying dungeons. But, yeah, so that's my 195, kind of a 175 video. That's full of the mistakes that I made at 175. But so far it's doing much better. You know, you can see my 175 zone was like all of this. I think this was 175, but this wasn't. You can see the level differences from the heroes, because once you get up, you know, another level of dungeon, higher level heroes are going to try at your dungeon. So I had like one win at the start, and then a bunch of losses, because even when people were getting caught in my big trap, they weren't taking enough damage, whereas now they are. And I'm still tweaking it little bits here and there to actually make them get hit by the arrows as they're getting pulled. You can mess around with all the timings and stuff by turning the pullers and turning the archers to get their pulls off, to get their shots off as they're being pulled. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will definitely be back for a 215 video. I might actually sit at 215 for a while, because that's the majority of my upgrades that I really want, and I might just see if I can't rack up a bunch of hero kills and rack up some extra crowns. I am at 3.5k. I want to get up, you know, a little bit higher. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.